This episode of the Rocker Dog Podcast is sponsored by Elegy Coffee in Nashville, Tennessee. A Music City favorite among guests of this podcast, Elegy is open daily from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving your favorite crafted caffeinated classics, original specialty drinks, and sweet and savory food items. And best of all, they're dog-friendly. Visit any one of their 4 locations in East Nashville, Germantown, Downtown, and Wedgwood, Houston. Or order online for pickup or delivery now at elegycoffee.com. This is the Rocker Dog Podcast, the show that talks to musicians from all genres about their dogs of all breeds. My name is Tim Dill. I'm your host alongside my golden retriever poodle mixed breed Charlie. And for this episode, we have the privilege of speaking with Matt Fowler of the band Arrows in Action, whose new LP entitled I Think I've Been Here Before hits platforms and shelves on September 19th. And this is his cicada-eating Rocker Dog.
Today we are talking about my Beagle, Louise.
Louise. Now, is she a full-blooded Beagle?
No, she's a mix of some kinds. We don't really know what else she is. We got her when she was about 3.5. So she's a Beagle and something mysterious, yeah.
Okay. And 3.5, I guess let's start with her origin story. I know you've only had, Your Gotcha Day was a year ago, March. What prompted bringing Louise into your life?
Well, it was really prompted by my girlfriend. We've lived together for quite a while now, and she grew up with dogs. And she was sort of explaining to me the magic of having a dog and what it adds to life. And I didn't grow up with pets, so I didn't really know what to expect. We had had a cat for a little while, and he had passed, and I was just really missing having some crazy energy, a little tip tap around the house. And so it was more like I agreed to go start meeting dogs, and we met Louise. And we both were just kind of teary-eyed on the drive home because we weren't bringing her back with us already. Yeah, it was a group decision, but I definitely, had to be taught about it.
Yeah. Now, did your significant other, did she kind of drive the whole process? Like, I'm curious, how did it come to be a Beagle, or was it just a rescue, or was it, were you open for anything, or did she kind of have something in mind?
Going into it, I mean, we kind of wanted to make sure we weren't going to get, a real big dog. We love big dogs, but we live in a small place. So I think the only parameters was like, let's not lock a big dog into a little place. But outside of that, it really could have been anyone. I think we were just kind of looking for the right personality, and she's just so silly and so off in her own world. And she's snoring right now. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's just sitting next to me, just kind of, she's good. Yeah.
I think that that's the
so
best.
it was, yeah.
Well, on your Gotcha post, you did say, I love this goofy, stinky, cuddly, weird little dog.
Yeah.
I almost want to go through every little adjective. I mean, every dog is goofy. I guess every dog is stinky. What makes you bring out the word weird?
I don't know. She has just these little quirks, these moments that just feel like, again, she's my first dog, so I don't know if all dogs give the same side eye that Louise gives when she wants something, or if all dogs have a pre-snore before their snore, or if all dogs sort of, can look absolutely like a show dog one second and then a gargoyle the next, but all of these things are just kind of unique to her for me. So I think she is weird. She is a strange little creature.
I love it. And what about, you mentioned the cat, and actually I don't give cats a lot of due in this particular podcast, but I'm going to ask you a little bit about the cat later on. But
Yeah.
right now, in this conversation, is how did you guys turn from cat to dog?
I think dog was like in my girlfriend's mind, like always the plan because she
Right.
grew up with dogs. She loves dogs. And it was more so the cat that was the surprise because our cat Squid just ran into her old house one night when she just opened the door. He was blind, so I think he could just kind of tell that there was bright light
Okay.
and he just ran towards it and ran in the house. So it was sort of the world gave us a cat. I think,
Right.
having a dog at some point was kind of always part of the plan. But that's kind of how we went from cat to dog. But the beautiful thing about that experience is that now we also love cats. So I
Yeah.
think, someday when we have the space, we'll just kind of be a
Right.
little sanctuary for a lot of different animals. Yeah.
I was gonna say little farm, little indoor
Yeah,
farm.
exactly.
Did you guys name Louise, or did she come with the name?
We named Louise. Yeah.
Does that have any significance?
So we both love Bob's Burgers, and our favorite character in Bob's Burgers is Louise, who's very mischievous and clever. And I think when we first met her, we kind of thought that would fit her. And I think Louise is actually more of a Tina. If you've watched the show, I think she's a little more Tina than Louise, but the name still suits her and has all sorts of ridiculous nicknames that we can shorten it to.
I was
So,
gonna say what, and such as.
Looby Dooby, Looby Dooby. Oh, she's looking at me now. Looby Dooby, Lulu, Lulu Bee, Lou, just everything.
Yeah.
Just easy. Yeah.
What do you know of your partner's history with dogs? You know, which kind, did she grow up with big dogs or little dogs, or was it a one breed family? Or
She grew up mostly with little dogs. I can't remember if it was her first dog or one of her first dogs. She has lots of stories about an angry schnauzer named Hef, that I always love hearing about. And then when I met her, just before we started dating, she had sort of a medium-sized dog named Axel,
great
and
names.
he was a great name. And of course, I think her brother named Axel, and he's like the world's biggest Guns N' Roses fan. And Axel was just the sweetest, but very, very like protective kind of guy. But he passed pretty soon after I met them all. But yeah, she always had dogs around, and her extended family and her aunts and uncles always had dogs around and stuff too. But yeah, so she was very much pushing for it for a long time. And it's not that I didn't, want an animal around, but I travel for a living, with
Yeah.
touring. And so I was like, I had this sort of guilt around maybe not being able to participate as much, but I realized that's not really the case. And now coming home from tour is very different in a very good way.
That's good to hear. Now, on meeting Axel, did you pass the dog test? What was a new girlfriend at the time?
That's a great question. Yes, I think I did. I sat down and he immediately just hopped up on the couch and just sat on my lap.
Oh,
So I think
perfect.
there was something there pretty quickly because he had a sense of when to kind of be protective of her. And I remember meeting him and just thinking like, oh, this dude's the best. He's
Yeah.
just so sweet.
It's funny
Yeah.
how they're good judges of character. How would you say Luis is in that respect?
Oh man, I think she's pretty good, but I would say if a bad guy had some peanut butter, she'd be pretty bad at telling the difference between a good and bad person. She was a stray for so long she's food motivated,
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. I think I just saw on Instagram a security camera where the intruder, came in and pretty much pets the dog and plays with the dog while he's, filling a bag full of merchandise. So, but that actually
Yep.
segues nicely into my next line of questioning, and this is an exercise I do often. That's just kind of get the dog's personality, and that's to rate Luis on a scale of 1 to 10 on these three criteria. So the first criteria is watchdog. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Luis?
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give her like a solid 7 because when there's someone at the door, she's barking, she's checking it out, she's running up. But again, if that person just brought some snacks with them,
Yeah.
the gig would be up. So she's all right. She's all right at that. Yeah.
Okay. How is she as a therapist? Is she a good and emotional support dog?
Oh, very good. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for that. She just wants to cuddle and nap. She just wants to be held. So I think for myself and for anyone having a tough day, she's become good friends with my bandmates, of course too. And I think her need to be held really goes hand in hand when you're having a hard day. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And lastly, how is she as a personal trainer? Does she get you up and out? Is she active that makes you active, or is she more of a cuddly snorer?
She's a cuddly snorer.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna give her a 2 on the personal trainer scale only because she will be like, "Hey, dude, I have to pee. Can we go outside?" Like she'll know when to call it, but like, right now it's so hot here in Nashville that she's a homebody, but she'll get excited about toys and stuff. We'll get her up and going, but
yeah,
she's lazy. She's a lazy
yeah.
beagle.
Well, you mentioned Nashville. It's funny, I've got so many, as you can imagine, so many of my guests are based in Nashville. And
Yeah.
I have to ask, how's the Nashville dog scene for you? Is Louise a type of dog that you'll just take for a walk, or would you go to a dog park or just let out in the backyard?
It's great here. I mean, we moved pretty recently, and I would say at our last place and where we are now, like most of our neighbors have dogs, and they're all super friendly. I think everybody that we've been around is like great at training their dogs too. So all the dogs are just like super friendly, and Louise usually can't really be bothered. She's social in that she gets along with dogs, but she kind of just ignores them, which
Yeah,
makes it easy to go walk down to a coffee shop or something and she'll enjoy her day out. So really, really good. And I mean, it's very good, especially because of like Wags and Walks, which is an organization here. That's
yep,
where we got her. And they just do incredible work. So
yeah.
yeah.
What I like about talking about you is you're a new dog guy and kind of discovering the whole experience. What would you say, what's connecting with you? Like what's making you probably a now and future dog guy?
Gonna sound so basic, but maybe it's because I'm so new to it, but sort of the constant companionship, I
Hmm.
think was something that I had underestimated that feeling. I just love that she's there. And I
Yeah,
love that she loves being there. There's something special about that. Because like, like I said, having no pets, like I was just so used to just kind of going it alone. But having her around, I don't really get caught in, cycles mentally, spirals, things like that. And then, beyond that, not that just the utility of it, but it's just fun.
yeah,
It's just nice. She's just hilarious. If we're just eating dinner, she's doing something that's making us laugh. She's making a face, or she's found something. She keeps finding Tess's socks, my girlfriend's socks everywhere. We don't even know how. She just steals them and runs around the house with them because she knows we're going to come get them from her. So it makes boring things entertaining.
that's great. Does she howl? That's one thing I love about beagles is they tend to howl. Does she howl?
Dude, it's so weird. We really lucked out. She is very quiet. Like because people told us this about beagles, and we said, "Oh, we got a beagle." Like I think my dad had a beagle when he was real little, and he was like, "Well, beagles are real loud," and I was like, "Really?" Because I don't know anything about dog breeds,
Yeah, yeah,
and she's really chill unless we like get her to do it. So sometimes when Tess gets home from work, she will howl at Louise to get Louise to howl.
yeah.
So if I have my headphones on and I'm like demoing or gaming or something, and then I hear my human girlfriend going, "Oh," and then Louise starts barking. So yeah, she will if we egg her on.
That's the perfect scenario.
It really
Is
is.
to
Yeah,
control it.
yeah,
Well, like I insinuated, Squid the cat. You had a really great
yeah.
post, and a lot of times I get posts like this about the dogs that I dissect. But I grew up with cats, so I like to give them a little love when I can. But you had a couple interesting things to say, and one was Squid was dealt a terrible hand in life, and you mentioned he was blind, and then you said you'll never forget all the things he taught us, meaning you and Tess. What do you mean by that? Like, what did you take away from Squid?
I think he taught us and maybe me more because, like I said, I think growing up with pets, he taught me how to take care of not just myself.
Hmm.
I think I was like, oh, I can only take care of myself, and then he literally ran into the house and okay, well, this is our cat now, I guess. And I learned how to live in the moment with a little crazy creature that is just in the moment and can't not think that way. And I learned how to take care of a pet regularly and then learned how to take care of a pet that was sadly dying. And I think that there's a lot of important lessons just sort of baked into the experience of having a pet pass away,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But, caring for him while I was sick and sort of doing everything that we could possibly do around the house to make his life a little bit more comfortable. And then kind of like watching myself do that
Yeah.
for a cat, I was like,
Right.
oh, this is really important. Like doing this is important. Yeah. I think that's a bit of what I learned from having Squid around. And I also just learned to have fun in
Yeah.
the most simple ways. So he would just his favorite thing in the world was Topo Chico boxes. Just for some reason, specifically, if I had an empty box of Topo Chico, that he could rip that up for hours, and he would just sit on the floor scooting around. So,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it. It's funny. My cat used to love paper bags, the old kind of old school shopping paper bags.
Oh yeah. What's
But
it? Some with their claws and they like the noise.
yeah,
Dogs are like that in a way too. Louise likes toys that squeak because she thinks she's hunting. I think. I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Well, that's right. That's another instinct they have is kind of that hunting, sniffing. When you take her outside, is that all? It's all it's about smelling everything on
It's
Earth.
Dude, it's all about smelling everything on Earth. But the funniest thing is that she'll like a rabbit will walk right past her face. But if she's busy smelling something, she won't even look at it.
Funny.
Sometimes I'll pick her up and try to get her to look like there's a bird or there's a rabbit or there's an owl. Like this is what you do. And she'll kind of look up at me and wait for me to put her back down and she'll just ignore it.
Yeah, she's like,
So
I've been domesticated for too long.
yeah, she's a pacifist. She's all set.
Well, I wind down my dog talk with the Zoomies, which are 5 fast, frivolous questions. Once we conclude that, I want to touch upon your album coming out. But first, the Zoomies. So, question number 1: do you allow Louise to lick your face?
I would, but she actually just licks my arms and my feet.
Okay.
That's all she does. Yeah.
All right. All right. Question number 2: does she have a theme song? What should be playing as she walks in the room?
Louie Louie, but the Motorhead cover
Oh,
of Louie Louie.
great.
That'd be my pick, but I think I do have to say my girlfriend's pick. She recently rewrote the lyrics to Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus
Oh, great.
to be all about Louise. And I'm not even going to butcher it now, but so Teenage Dirtbag also.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Question 3: I know she doesn't go on tour with you, but hypothetically, if she went on tour, what would she want on her tour rider?
She would want peanut butter. She would want a bed that used to belong to another dog so that she knows she's getting away with stealing it because she likes to steal other dogs' beds when she visits our friends. And I hate this, but probably cicadas. She loved eating cicadas when we had lots of
Wow.
cicadas. And I was doing my best to keep her from it, but that was like her favorite thing in the world. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I would tell her not to put it on her rider, but if it was the Louise show, she'd probably put that on her rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Question 4 is: do you have a dog voice?
Yeah.
Can you,
Yeah.
you want
I
to
mean,
care to share it with us?
I never thought I would have one. I mean, it goes in and out of the classic, just hi Louise.
Yeah. The high
Hi. She'll
pitch.
kind of look up when I'm doing that. It's pretty classic. Yeah.
All right. And finally, question number 5 is: I always ask if there's a dog service or an organization you like to shout out.
Definitely Wags and Walks.
Okay.
Yeah, Wags and Walks here in Nashville. They just do such amazing work, and really, I found out about them because of a buddy of ours that you've had on the show, Andrew Cook.
Okay.
Yeah, so that Wags and Walks for sure. Yeah.
Oh, great. Great. It's funny. I saw you, there was a post of you in front of his coffee shop.
Oh gosh, yeah, Elegy. We love Elegy. That's probably my favorite shop in Nashville. Me and my bandmates are all very loyal to Elegy, and Andrew did some like a lot of merch designs and one of our album covers and everything too.
Oh,
Actually,
great.
yeah,
Awesome. Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. Well, speaking of albums, let's talk about your new LP, I Think I've Been Here Before, which comes out September 19th. Now, the title alone leads me to think there's some sort of nostalgia going on in the album or in the theme or maybe a thread going through it. I recently had a guest that had a little bit of nostalgia, baked into her, and I asked her the question I want to ask you, and that's if you fast forward 15 years from now, let's be nostalgic about today. How would you like to look back on this time and this album?
I think I'll be thinking back to a lot of the touring that we've been doing now and how exciting and new a lot of the experiences are. We've done a lot of touring in the States, but we just got home from our first European and UK headliner. And I think that's something that I'll be very nostalgic about, maybe even in less than 15 years because of how exciting every single place we went was.
Yeah.
Even just the creation process for this record was just so fun and so kind of calm through a lot of it.
Mhm.
I think that'll be something that's really nice to look back on.
What would you like fans to take away from, this particular collection of songs?
We would like them to leave the experience having felt like they had an escape. I think that's always kind of the goal. But with this in particular, nostalgia offers a kind of escape that I think has some positive and negative elements to it. Like when we're talking about thinking about what I'll be nostalgic for in 15 years, I think that's like a very positive look at nostalgia. And I also think there's some downsides to kind of living in the past, and the record explores both of those, but I think on the whole, we want people to have truly an immersive experience that kind of got them out of their head, got them out of the moment for a little bit. And then, for the first time, really on one of our albums, we have a lot of songs that you can dance to, a lot of dance beats. We had their saxophone on the most recent single, things like that. And so when we're thinking about going back and re-listening, we kind of want it to be an album you could put on at party, and just kind of enjoy yourself as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Matt, listen, best of luck with everything. I know you're right on the precipice of, like I said, this new LP. So I wish you all the success in the world, and thanks for coming on the show and bringing Louise with you.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm a fan of the show and I love what you're doing. So thank you so much for having me on.
Carl, you're a damn good dog.